Three individuals are all quietly sitting around a dusty, decrepit room with an open balcony at the top of a lone tower in a field, sunlight making the atmosphere of the room very mysterious and calm as the oceans of grass below softly hiss, filling their ears. Various items like old, well-known books, cups, and other trinkets are on the table one of them has been fiddling with. Up near the ceiling, toward the center of the room, a portal appears. Ciora, Rilo, and Fuson, said three individuals, all jump in surprise as the hulking fourth figure flies out into the table that they're sitting around, skidding across and slamming against the back wall of the tower balcony. Aultemus bolts up, looking at the portal, still open, and zaps toward it, materializing his whole body into lightning and striking forward of his own will. But it closes just as he's a hair away. Aultemus, reconstituted from the spell, flops toward the balcony, but Rilo jumps and swings him around in time. He lays there a second. Lightning sparks from his azure-colored, acutely fine-scaled body, as more lightning illuminates underneath them. His hair is made up of larger, thicker scales, about the size of a fist, that are a dull yellow, and peak on the shoulders. His hair curves into a snake-like hood before tapering off into two long, flat drapes, eventually coming to a point around his stomach. His fingers are much sharper than that of a human or an elf, but not unlike a demon. His eyes have yellow irises, but where other species would have white, his eyes have a pale blue, with vertical slits for pupils. Suddenly, Ciora marches toward him, placing the palm of her hand directly onto his face. Her eyes and hand begin to illuminate with a sage-green glow as lightning arcs ever more violently from Aultemus's body. But just as quickly as it began, it stops, and he falls back down, unconscious. Nice? What'd you do? Mutters Fuson, a brow notched above the other, as he eyes Ciora from head to toe. Ciora exhales. I calmed him down. Also, I gave him our common language to be safe. Nice. So when's he getting up? Ciora scrunches her eyebrows close together as she turns around and waves her hand in Aultemus' direction. A sage-green glow flashes for a second. Then Aultemus slowly gets back up, still collecting himself. Fuson walks up to him. You're a big guy, Fuson states mockingly. For you, Rilo whispers to himself. You say something, monkey boy? Aultemus looks up at the two exchanging quips to each other in utter confusion. Ciora is looking back at Aultemus, making sure he's okay. He looks up and around the room at Fuson, who turns back around to meet his gaze. Who are all of you? Aultemus stumbles out. You mean you don't know? Ciora calmly asks. The three look at each other, at a loss for words, all with confused look on their faces. You guys don't know each other? Aultemus says. Did my dad bring you all here? That was your dad? Fuson interjects. He just randomly found me. I don't know how... Ciora rolls her eyes and turns her head to Aultemus. She stands up. Had to be an inch under 6 feet, sturdily built, olive green eyes, lavender hair, and tall, pointy ears that break through the skyline of her hair. She's wearing armor made of wood. The pauldrons have foliage and flowers growing from them, and the wood grain has an emanating sage-green glow. She's holding herself with her hands to the sides of her arms. Her shoulders slightly raised, then relaxed, although she doesn't notice. Yeah, same here. I think he brought us here, although I can't speak for his judgment, she says as she adjusts her stance and hangs her head a bit forward. He must be a really strong spirit Aphanite if he just randomly picked us out of a crowd. Do you know why he picked us? Not really. He's not even a spirit Aphanite. I was yelling at him before he threw me in here, but I couldn't get it out of him. All he told me was to look for my brother who went missing a couple months ago, Aultemus explains. Yeah, so what do they call you, blue guy? Fuson spits out. Aultemus. Fuson jets his hand out a little and gives Aultemus a look. Say it one more time. Aultemus, he replies, with more confidence. Okay, no. How about we call you All, or Alt? Alt? Yeah, Alt. It's a little easier, Fuson says with a smile. Wait, so how did you guys end up here? Well, I lost a bet with your dad, and I had some free time, so I dropped by, Fuson gallantly explains. Siora looks around as she fiddles with her hair. I wanted some friends, Rilo whispers from the back. They all look directly toward him as he pulls the hood of his cloak over his head. I thought I could be of some help. Fuson raises an eyebrow and scrunches up his face as Siora smiles. That's really cool, Rilo, she utters. Well, I hope we can get along, Aultemus awkwardly responds, turning to Siora. I also just kind of needed to get away from my home for a bit, Siora guardedly says, crossing her arms tightly. Aultemus, standing at 6'2", an entire foot over Fuson, stumbles a bit as he gets up. Fuson is a slim, but confident in everything that he does, with striking teal eyes, full of sass. Fuson is a Valkyrie, an avian species with foldable wings in place of arms. Their feathers are incredibly durable, almost like metal, yet light enough for them to fly. Valkyries can move the feathers on the tips in the middle of their wings where their joints are, allowing them to mimic that of a hand. Fuson's feathers are a light forest green with a wingspan of about 12 feet. Aultemus and Fuson both wear similar leather-bound brown kilts. Aultemus's opens on the sides for easy mobility and has a front flap that touches his knees, whereas Fuson's is cleaner with a red sash and is just one piece. I guess I have some kind of goal, Aultemus says as he lets out a shaky exhale, looking over the balcony toward the ground, contemplating whether to be angry or sad. What I don't understand is why you all agreed to come here and help. Do you not have other things to do? I guess we all sort of look around the same age. I'm fine with it, Fuson quickly replies. I wanted a break. My name's Fuson, by the way. Water Aphanite. You know, someone who's born with a strength for water magic. And I'm pretty good with wind magic, too. For once, it looks as though the general jolly and lighthearted demeanor of Fuson puts up a facade for but a brief moment. But the sparkle comes back in his eyes rather quickly. It kind of seems like we're all in the same boat, wanting some kind of change of pace. I'm Siora, Spirit Aphanite. I've been practicing water, but she says as she hugs herself a little tighter. They all turn to Rilo, who has been sitting down since he saved Aultemus from falling off the edge, and put his cloak back on. Rilo recoils a little bit. He takes his hood off rather clumsily. I'm Rilo. I'm a kinetic Aphanite, he sputters out. And? Blurts out Fuson. Rilo's eyes flitter around the room, etching some scribble into the dust on the table and locking his eyes to some debris as he tries to craft a new sentence, but gets interrupted. Kinetic? I don't think we have those on my world. You'll have to show me. Just kinetic? You must be incredible at it, Aultemus speaks out. He casually approaches Rilo, a shorter human with brown eyes and black hair. Slightly medium to deep tan, well-built and well-defined. Aultemus walks up to the left of Rilo and gives his shoulder a tap. He keeps walking past and looks out of the balcony. Aultemus immediately looks at the geyser of arcane magic in the far distance. Aultemus turns back to everyone and points back to the nexus with his thumb. I have one of those too. I wonder how far apart our worlds are. But I'm here now. Aultemus looks down toward the ground of the tower. Hey, what? But before Siora can finish, they all hear a, "Hey!" shouted suddenly from beneath them.